Okay, good evening, everybody. Welcome to this evening's webinar at ACY Securities Live Forex Market Review. My name is Duncan Cooper. Before we get into it, please read through the disclaimer. Any questions you can put into the chat or the question box. If you're on our live stream on YouTube, I can't see the chat, but I've given you the link that you can use to come into the webinar. So if you want to ask questions, just follow the link. Other than that, please everybody read through this disclaimer. Now, we're getting to the end of the trading week, heading into Christmas. Things will be slowing down. I'm going to give you a bit of a higher level look at levels to watch through the Christmas week, Christmas period. Price generally is very quiet, range bound through Christmas, but you never know. Price may just get up to a higher level that you'd like to be trading at. So it's worth knowing what the best levels would be to maybe trade at that you could be watching. And just waiting to see if price can get up to those levels. All right, so if you don't know me, my name is Duncan Cooper. I'm the Senior Market Strategist and Trading Mentor at ACY Securities, and I'm a full-time trader. I had the opportunity of mentoring clients now for more than 10 years. I've been trading the Forex market now for more than 15. Want to contact me, my email is on screen, duncan.cooper@acy.com. Through the week, normally, next week, I'm not working next week, but normally you can get me at our website, acy.com Market News tab, at the ACY Securities Australia YouTube channel, and you can connect with me on Twitter and LinkedIn. Next week, though, I'm not doing anything, having a week off, so I'll be back on board doing my normal stuff from Tuesday the 4th. And if you want to get access to our Telegram as well, then that will be back on board on Tuesday the 4th. If you want to get access, just contact Nathan Bray. His email is on screen there. I'll put it in the chat momentarily. If you want to get access to my chart layouts and templates, then simply send Nathan an email. He will sort you out with that too. So I will just put his details in the chat. He's on holiday till start of next year too. So don't expect a quick response back from him over the next week. All right, there we go. All right, so we're all taking a bit of a break. I live on the Gold Coast. I know Nathan's, his family's on the Gold Coast. He's just come up today, so I'm going to be catching up with him for a Christmas drink. In fact, I was down in Sydney last Friday for our Christmas party and had a couple of drinks with him too then. But we'll be on holiday next week. We'll be back on board. Normal service will resume from first week in January. All right, so let's have a look at what's going on in the market. So we do still have a few news events coming out into Friday, 11:30 p.m. We have Canadian news and US dollar news. We've got some minor US news coming out this evening at 11:30. So same time each day, 11:30 p.m. today, some minor items for the US, final GDP unemployment claims. Tomorrow, 11:30 p.m. Canada and US GDP and core PCE price index. Time shown on Queensland time. There's next week, Christmas week, very little coming out next week. The US will be releasing a couple of items, but they're only minor items. So market will be very quiet, I am sure, next week. Generally speaking, it is, but it's always good to know what levels would be great to trade at if we get to some levels. So dollar index at the moment, this is the day chart look. The monthly level I'm watching here, this double top, 103.82. Here's the day look. We are holding there. Are we going to be forming a higher bottom to move up? Is this like the pullback area where we're going to start to move up into the next year to challenge the high of next year? Support's holding at the moment, so maybe we are. It'd be nice to see a higher top, higher bottom, just to start to get a little bit more excited about, yes, a bottom's coming in. S&P 500, this isn't a downtrend now. We're looking for a lower top to form. Are we going to be moving down into 2023? Okay. So the big question is, has the US dollar pullback finished? Does that mean that pairs to the US dollar are going to start to top out? So I'm just going to go through from left to right, talk about the levels that I'm going to be watching. Now, I did say last week that through the Christmas period, the yen pairs can have dramatic sell-offs, and we haven't had a dramatic sell-off this week, but that was more to do with the Bank of Japan. But we could rally back up to a level and have another significant drop. So this is the day chart. At the moment, I would just be monitoring this range that we have had move down, and start to watch the 62 level, which lines up with this day support level at 9100. So price come up to that level, hold, and want to move back down. Now we are holding at weekly support over here. If you move to a weekly chart, it's weekly support there. So there is the possibility that we obviously going to trade up from that level. Now, if you're astute and you like the 4-hour entry method that I've taught, Cameron, I can see you on there. I know you're working on that. Well, we have had 2 4-hour entries on this retracement back up. All right. There's been one here. There's been one here. Now, of course, it's counter to that drop. But when we get these massive drops, these big imbalances, often price will rally back up. I mean, I'm just waiting for price to rally back up to look for an opportunity to trade down. But of course, if I'm looking at the 9100 level, at the 62% fib level, price has to get there. And we've already shown a higher bottom, kind of another little higher bottom here. So there has been an opportunity to grab 100 pips there at the moment if you traded the 4-hour entry. All right, so I'm just monitoring the retracement. We could get all the way up to the 79% level. All right, so I'm watching the 62 to 79 over the Christmas period. Where will price get to? All right, Aussie dollar. Now, I've discussed this major range before. We're kind of stalling. Let me get rid of that fib. Kind of stalling at the 62 to 79% area here. We have now moved down to a lower bottom. As I was talking the other day, looking for this to maybe come up and create a head and shoulder pattern. Can it come up back up to the 97, sorry, back up to the 67, 97 daily resistance level here. Let me just get the right tool. Can we come up to that top? Can we come up to weekly resistance at 68.26, which is from over here? So drawing a fib in across that range. Can we come up to the 62? Can we come up to this top over here? There's another top there at 68.51, 79% level there at 68.36. So can we come up to the 62 level that combines with that top, 67.92 to 67.97? Or can we go up to the 79% level, which will be very close to that top there at 68.51? So can we see a rally up to put a lower top in next week? Getting ready to move down, potentially. That's what I'm watching for. Euro yen, well, of course, we've had this large collapse. I'm a little bit miffed with this because I was trying to look at trading around about the 146.13 level, 14600 level, and price collapsed before then. So I don't know if we can get all the way back up there. So I'm just monitoring a retracement at the moment. Can we come up to the logical 62 level or the 79% level through the Christmas period? Can we come up into the area? 144.26 is monthly resistance here. So around about the 14400 level would be a great area to watch for reversal. Can we come up? Now, of course, if you want to go counter, we already have a higher bottom forming, but we're actually being able to hold below this support level at the moment. this level here, but I don't know whether we'll hold underneath that for too long. We may well come higher up. After that very big drop, all these yen pairs are the same story. There's a large imbalance that potentially needs to get filled. So looking up to the 79% level there where the imbalance started would be a great level to watch for a reversal. Now price may obviously form through next week and start to form different levels, different structure, but at the moment, seeing that big drop, I would be looking to sell a rally higher up. Euro dollar. Last week failed at 62% level here on the weekly chart of last year's range. I'm looking for a reversal here. Can the day chart? It is coming up. It's got another higher bottom here, but is it forming a lower top here to start to head down? So a break below that level there of 105.76 is going to start to, yes, confirm that. On the 4-hour chart, we're getting rather range bound. So if I just draw in this 4-hour range, roughly, we've been up to the top of the range or very close today. My bias is to the downside because of where we're at within the range of last year. We haven't been able to rally up, I don't think, quite to a 62% level. Well, we got quite high up there, but the bigger level of resistance is this 106.35 level. It's a monthly low, just here, which we keep just trading above and falling back below. So are we really holding at 106.35 now to get ready, get set to move down? All right, so a very good area to try to trade it will be the top of that range there, or a little bit of a stub above there up to the 62% level. Try to sell up there at the highest point you can manage. I mean, it might get up to the 79% level, 107.01 through next week. All right, I'm watching 107.01. Can we get up there at a high price? All right, so looking for a lower top, lower bottom to form, but can we get up to a high price there to put the lower top in situation? So might just stay like that all week next week, okay? Pound yen. All right, we've had a big move down. All my commentary will be the same on the yen pairs, looking for price to come back up to a 62.79% retracement kind of thing. And then what do I start to see form? Can we come up to 165.19, 166.98, and look for a lower top? Pound dollar. Now, of the current year's range, we're filling at 62. Quite aggressive, that sell-off last week when you look at it there on the weekly chart. In past tense, last 2 weeks have been negative. False break above last week's high, finishing very negative this week. So we're filling at 62% level, 123.91 over here to the left. That's an old monthly low just there. Weekly resistance here, 129.93. Sorry, 122.93. It'd be nice if we could have a rally next week. We're just sitting on day support at the moment. So we've broken a low to a lower bottom. Be nice if we could come up, draw a fib. Can we come up to 62.79% level? 62 overlaps with the 122.93 is the resistance. 122.97 is a 62% fib. 79 levels at 23. Can't read the number. I think it's 23.62. 23.91 is your monthly resistance. So can we come up to 62 level, 79 level, or come up to one of these resistance levels from back in time? This weekly level here. What I'm really watching is 122.97, that weekly top there. So 123.00. You know, I would be very surprised that we would move above 12300 next week, but we could get up to 12300. Trading sometimes for Christmas can get very thin, and price can move a lot further than you think on low volume, and we could get up to 123. Even though we're only at 121 at the moment, 200 pips away, we could move up 200 pips in thin trading. So I'm just watching those levels, see if we can get up there. And then, you know, can we start to form a lower top? We've got a lower bottom. If you start to form a lower top, the market is going to see that we're forming a lower top, lower bottom at this key area of resistance and the 62% fib level of last year's range. And this could be the top to move down once more into the very low levels. So this is the, you know, the opportune time to get short. Of course, price can move through and up. We could be up all year, but we're at a very good level where the market could put a top in. So it is the most opportune time probably at the moment to look for that opportunity to trade down, especially if we get, you know, a long-term move down. New Zealand yen. All right. I mean, it's really the same commentary. I would be drawing my fib this way at the moment. Massive failure up here. Obviously, there's a big question mark with the sell-off of the yen pairs. Is it going to continue long term? Or was it just a reaction to the fundamental announcement in the week? And then the market disregards it and we're not going to have any more long-term declining. We'll just have to watch price action. But at the moment, there's structures down. Do we come up 62 level, 79% level once more? Now, do we come up to the 79% level? That would be a great level to watch. Do we, on the 4-hour chart, like the other yen pairs, feel that imbalance? That gets you back up to the 79% level. Can we get up there? So, do we see a move all the way back up? Now, of course, if we start to get above this weekly broken support, you might want to trade up on these yen pairs. If you start to see nice price action structure, that gives you a solid feel that price is going to move up to the higher levels. If you want to trade counter trend back up in the retracement, just make sure you've got a solid price action to do that. So I'm just going to be monitoring to see how high we can come up. 62 level, 79% level. There's a 79 of the bigger range. But these imbalances often get filled, so don't be surprised if they don't get filled. You know, if they get filled, and there's no way I'm going to execute a short down here because I am concerned that this may get filled, and I don't want to be short here, do I? Seeing price come against me. So logically, we've had a drop, looking to see a retracement, sell the rally. New Zealand dollar. Looking for a head and shoulder pattern here. I showed this in the Telegram today. Whether this doesn't seem to have a lot of legs at the moment. Whether we can, you know, rally. There's your movement down at the moment to a lower bottom. Can we come up to that shoulder? It's about 64.42. In between 62 79% retracement for a move down into the new year. All right, whether it's going to get up that high, I don't know. That's what I'm watching. All right, dollar CAD. If you want to trade the dollar Canadian, we are rather range bound at the moment. Higher trends are up. Monthly's up from a higher bottom to a higher top. Weekly's higher bottom, higher top, another higher bottom. Getting a little bit consolidatory. The general range is here at the moment. There's the top part and the bottom parts here. They good level of day support at 135.02. So on the 4-hour chart there, you know, looking down here would be the most opportune area to look for a buy. trade back up. We may just stay in this range. We've moved down, we've moved up. Get your fib drawn in. Could be looking to trade at 135.17, stop at 134.62. This is the 127 retracement underneath there to trade back up. So looking for a move down, trading back up. All right, so we're in a range there. So you need to trade like it's in a range. We're in the middle of the range at the moment. So trying to trade price action in the middle of the range is never the best tact, because price can move up or down from the middle. So look for price to see if it can get to the bottom of the range and then look to trade it back up. All right, so let's have a look now at the dollar yen. So of course, we've had that heavy sell-off. Here's the weekly look. Are we going to hold down here? Are we going to form a really nice double bottom down here? Or we could obviously continue down and through. So we're not able to continue down from what was Tuesday's trading. And what's noticeable to me is that we didn't quite get down to support. So the buyers came in before support. We weren't able to like test or false break. It came in before then. All right. And then we had a very small inside day. I mean, really, if you want to be aggressive, a break above yesterday's high starts to really confirm a reversal back to the upside. We're getting higher top. Are we going to start to form a higher bottom here to move up? Of course, the first barrier is this daily resistance here at 133.62. In fact, it's actually a bit of a weekly resistance there at 133.62. So if you do want to trade this as a potential double bottom to move up, you need to have got the risk out and be risk-free by 133.62, because price could just simply come up to that level. We do have a bit of a 4-hour entry here, forming a bottom there. We have a bottom here, and we have a fractionally another bottom forming there, which is slightly higher. So we do have a 4-hour entry there, but if you're looking to enter and get long in this area, then you must, 133.62 could be resistance. So you must manage your trade, get your risk out by then, because we could simply come up to that level and then turn around and, move this way. So we've got that imbalance like the other yen pairs that may need to be filled. There it is. All right. So if you want to be aggressive, it is forming a little bit of a higher bottom there on the 4-hour. Doesn't, I don't think, offer too much risk. You don't need more than about 40, 45 pip risk on that. And if it works out, back up at least just to fill the imbalance, there's 460 pips. So it's great risk reward. It's just maybe not the best time of the year, but it is great risk reward. And, we could next week just simply start to reclaim back up into the imbalance. So let's have a look at the 15-minute chart. It's a little bit choppy in there, but, if you like the look on the idea that we may be forming a double bottom, what's happening at the moment is we are forming intraday trading here, a bit of a slight rising channel here. All right. We may well find that we come up to the top of that range, we come back down to the bottom of the range. So if you want to really get tight in terms of an entry, look at this base, the slightly rising base that we have here. Look look to be trying to trade at the base. All right. Then you can really, not be risking too much. You could be trading that base with a 20 pip stop. And if it starts to move up and starts to reclaim the drop, and then it, starts to prove that maybe a double bottom's coming in with a limited risk of 20 pips, there is a massive risk reward to the upside. So when you're looking at setups, kind of structuring, we did have a large drop, but it's a double bottom for me. So if you can construct something with a limited risk, back to the weekly chart here, get rid of that. If we are holding here, here's your daily look. If you can get in with a very limited risk, just to risk 20 pips, if this is a true double bottom, we will be coming back up to challenge last year's high. So if you can get in with a 20, 30, 40 pip risk, there's massive potential for reward. There's like 2,000 pips up there. Okay, so if getting in with a 20 pip risk, you can construct something with a 20 pip risk there, get the risk out, and it starts to move your way, then you'd have to change your mindset about being concerned about losing 20 pips to what could happen if you're right, because the trade's going to win, lose, or break even. But if it wins, it has the potential to go a long way up to the top of the range. So for a small risk, there is the potential for a large gain. All right, so you could be looking at the base of that channel. All right, it's getting to have a look at gold. Now, getting range bound. I can see a little bit of a rising channel here on my 4-hour chart. Let me just tidy a few things off here. So last week, we obviously rejected that weekly top in here. Hasn't taken out the top this week, but we are back above resistance. So it just looks like it's kind of wanting to just creep north. Whilst we have a lower bottom there, maybe an equal top, there is a little bit of a sniff here, because sometimes trends can be difficult to read because they get a little bit mixed. You get a lower bottom, then we come up to put another higher top in. This hasn't quite put a higher top in yet, but I can see that maybe we've got some form of an ever so fraction kind of a rising channel there. All right. There it is on the 4-hour chart. I can just refine it. So we're obviously at the upper reaches of the channel. So we are at the extremes of the channel. So getting a tight entry there, you may be able to trade down to the bottom of the channel. And can wait to see whether the bottom of the channel breaks. The channel's holding though, then you're obviously, the bias to the channel is actually to the upside. So you'll be looking at the base of this channel, this slightly rising channel, to look for an opportunity to trade back up for a break north. All right, so that gold definitely does have, the weekly trend is definitely up, and there is a just, and that we're trading on the day and the 4-hour chart there in terms of that channel. And Slavia's saying head and shoulders, could be a head and shoulders, maybe. It's, it's very range bound at the moment. And the weekly trend is up. So, breaking back below 1810, that top there, and 1807, which is weekly resistance. So breaking back below 1807 puts the hands back in the sellers, but then you'd have to watch the base of the channel for support for the buyers to come in. All right, so maybe more leading to the downside now where price is actually at right at the minute, but the trend is up at the moment. So moving back down to that line of support could be where the buyers come back in, and gradually we might just be moving up over time. We did obviously, let me get rid of that channel. Last week, we clearly obviously rejected. We clearly rejected last week. We had the FOMC statements and other countries' interest rate decisions and finished on a negative note, but we're obviously positive at the moment. So we do have a couple of US news items coming out. But whilst we have a rejection candle last week, this on the weekly chart is a higher top to a higher bottom, moving up to a further higher top. So it is leaning, in general trend terms, trend is up. So let's just put that channel back in. I can get the right tool on the 4-hour chart. You can monitor that over the course of the next week. I'll leave that there and I'll revisit to see what price has done when I catch back up next year. All right, so we might see, a movement down, logical movement down within the channel, like so. All right, so those are the higher level structure at the moment that's going on in the market. Things are, as you can see there on gold, a little bit slower going, but holding maybe just an uptrend there. All these other pairs, these yen pairs, they may well fill their imbalances. You just need to decide, do you want to trade the kind of counter move back up? For me, I'm just going to be waiting and watching to look at the higher levels to trade back down, if that's the way the market wants to set itself up for. All right. So let's have a look at that euro dollar. Really struggling. Anything above 106.35 then that euro dollar is a big struggle. We're into what we're Thursday, Wednesday, Tuesday's high up here. Really struggling at Tuesday's high. So let's go back to the 4-hour chart. So Tuesday's high, I'm just going to put the fib in here. And I'm just putting the fib across the range where I think we may be holding to. So we're down to 1-hour chart. All right, and the top of my range, I might, drag that down to there now. Like I put. So if you want to trade next week, the euro dollar is very range bound, but it is in some form of clear range. The outskirts are 106.58 to 105.81. So what is that? That's like an 80 pip range at the moment. Those are the boundaries. If we are topping out, looking for an opportunity to trade down. I mean, if you had that all set up today, trading the top of the range there at 106.58, stop at 106.79 to see if we can trade down and break support for the next move down longer term. Now, we may well come back up to revisit 106.58. So you might have another opportunity to trade down from there. So you can set that up on your charts. We could touch that level today with we have some minor US news coming out later in the day. We have some more US news coming out tomorrow. But you can see there for most of the week, it's just range bound, and we may well just stay exactly like that as we head into the Christmas week next week. Just break down on the pound dollar here on the 15-minute. All right, it's looking a bit, I don't know whether we can get a rally on the pound dollar. Just 4-hour trend is just holding itself. It's a lot less range bound than the euro dollar at the moment. You know, I am looking for a higher level, but doesn't always give me what I want. We are filling at the 62 level there of that 4-hour trend that we're seeing. All right. So you have some news coming out later. We could pop up to the 79% level here. Still trade within the range of that 4-hour range and see an opportunity to trade down. So that at the moment is holding to the 4-hour range. I'm looking more at a day chart rally of the bigger range, but it may not get up to the range that I'm looking at. This may just hold to the 4-hour trend that we're seeing unfolding at the moment. This could just keep breaking down, showing you a longer term 4-hour continuation move down into next week. All right, you can monitor that. I am looking at that range for a higher move up. We'll just have to wait and see what comes. All right, any final questions? A little bit slow going at the moment. And what I normally say to people at this time of year, I'm going to have a week off next week. And it could be slow into the first week of January as well, because the market's slow because everybody's leaving work. Traders are leaving work for Christmas. They're not trading. So there's not the volume in the market, and they may be having 2 weeks off. So they take next week off. They take the week off after that. So the first week in January sometimes can be relatively slow as well as people start to head back into the market. So you might be there wanting to trade, but you can only trade what the market's offering at the moment. All right. So Cameron, thank you for your comments. I think I might wrap it up there. All the webinars for the new year are already there. Let's refresh this from last night. So next webinar after tonight, which is going to wrap up very shortly, going to have a review of December. There's been some really nice 79% retracement levels that have worked out very nicely through the course of this month. So we can review those. We may see some more of those next month. I think when I reviewed November, we had some nice 79% retracements. They've appeared again in this month. If you're fortunate enough to get short on some of them before the Bank of Japan came out, you would have made a nice profit on some of those moves. All right, so I'm going to have a break. Be back on the 4th. Everybody have a safe Christmas. Thanks for the comments coming in. Merry Christmas to you all. Harash, thank you very much for your comments and wishing us all Merry Christmas. Thank you. All right, so everybody have a great Christmas. Stay safe. Have fun with your family. Look, be nice to everybody. So I know sometimes difficult having Christmas with the family. It's not always as happy for every minute of the Christmas period, is it? So be nice to everybody. Have a great Christmas. Look, and all the best for the new year. Look forward to getting back with you in the new year. Thanks, everybody.